Okay everybody, welcome back to the Warren in Folkestone, and on this occasion I'm not doing an in-chem wash. I've decided to do an oil plein air and bring you along with me. Now it's a couple of weeks on since the last one, but I felt that it'd be really nice just to have a look at this whole scene. I waited the 2 weeks so that I could come back and catch the tides around about the same time as I did before, with that lovely strip of sand, the headland, and that lovely colour of the sea and the wet sand as it goes out. Now I'm just going to put in a very quick horizon line. I normally work off of a coloured ground. I could do that today, but I decided in the interest of whatever I'm not going to do that today, but I am going to do a little bit of drawing, and I'm going to be using some burnt sienna for that, and a little bit of the umber into that. There's a lot of noise, a lot of people. It's very popular today here. I'm just going to give myself some idea of a fairly high horizon line through there, something like that. Okay, I'm just going to come up here. My sea level is way off. Now I've got to redraw this area. As much as you think you've got it right, you've got to keep check, and that is off. And the reason I knew that is where the harbour wall in Folkestone actually ends up being. So let's just bring that through here, little area through there, little curvature at that point, and bring our trees down. Now I still think it's wrong. I think my first line was about right, but what I think I've got to do is bring my sea level horizon up. I'm going to go with that idea. I'm going to put that as my harbour line. I'll put my harbour in there, bring this back to where it was. Make you wish you hadn't started now, messing that around. But you've got to keep these things in check. You've got to keep looking, you've got to keep assessing. Always, don't just assume that, you know, there's a line there and it works. It may not, and you have to double check. You have to ask the questions. Does it work? Do I need to do something else? I think we'll go with that. Take that out through there, and we've got all of this coming down here. And gonna pick up a bigger brush, and I'm gonna use a number, I can't see what this is, number 4 long flat. I do like the long bristle, they've got a little more spring in them, and all my brushes are evergreen brushes from Rosemary & Company. So if you are watching this and you feel that you fancy getting some brushes from Rosemary, then please don't forget that there is a affiliate link on my channel under the description of this and other videos that you might be watching. If you just put my name, Paul Amps, all in unbroken capitals under the affiliate link, then I get a little bonus. You don't pay any more, but it does help me obtain a little bit of recognition for promoting the brushes, but I wouldn't promote them if I didn't like them. It's got to be said. And I'm just bashing in some of this lovely blue. Now the blue I've used a bit of cobalt and a bit of phthalo blue. I do like that combination. I'm going to come back in, I'm going to add in a little bit of white. But I'm thinking that we could end up with something that could be our sea color. Let's just test it. Not bad. King's Blue Dark, little bit of lemon, and we've got something with the lemon and the blue to give us a bit of a grey, bit of a neutral blue, but dark enough to show up against all those clouds on that horizon line, but not too dark that it looks like a sort of threatening, horrible sea. Come back in here, and I think it's just a touch where the breeze is coming around the headland. Just a little darker blue, a little bit of violet in that blue. Somewhat darker that I'm putting in here, but I don't want to go too mad. Just a shift on the surface. And that breeze is just suggesting a different color. I'm just going to bring that in. I need to make it as obvious as I can, otherwise it's just not going to work. Hopefully that will be enough. If not, I'll take it out and try something different. Alright, so where are we now? I'm just going to pop in a little bit of extra color in here. As this sea gets closer to the sand, in other words, as it's going out, then the color is really changing to quite an aqua color. A little bit more lemon, a little bit more of the blues, and we're just coming into the realms of a sort of lovely greeny color in the water. That's just literally where it's shallowing out to the sand, and it's just giving that little bit of extra. All right, so let's put all of this in context now. Let's come in with a dark version of our headland, a little bit of skin over my green. Now this is an aggressive green, I've told you many times, but I'm going to mix that down with some orange. I'm going to shift that completely to start with, like that. It is still very aggressive. Put some cad yellow to that. See where you are. You can mix any of these other colours into it. I picked up a little bit of phthalo blue there, not quite the right thing to have done, but a little bit of orange and yellow in the top of it, mixing off to one side, will shift it where I want it. A little bit of lemon yellow too, just to shift that to a lighter value. But I don't want, it looks bright, I don't want it totally bright. Brighter than that though, he's got to say. Alright, so we're good on that so far. We've got a lot of work to do. I'm going to block in now my umbers, and I'm going to use some of this old burnt umber and some of the burnt sienna together. Touch of blue. Not so dark as you feel that it is, but it's going to be dark compared to the sea. So we're going to put that in there, and this is just the base color. Say for these occasions, I haven't brought it out yet, but I'm going to put some there, and that is one called Juane Brilliant, which is brilliant yellow basically, from Winsor & Newton. It's one of the few of their colours that I do use, and I love this colour, but it really does work very, very well. And I'm going to lose that brush for a moment. I'm going to come in with a slightly smaller long filbert and put that colour down there. I can feel how hot that is, and the brush is absolutely almost too hot to touch. Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm going to leave that for the moment. I might come back in. I still feel that I need a bit more dark light in there, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with my instinct. A little bit more fluid to make it all move. Now I'm going to come in with some phthalo there, keeping it quite light. A little bit of lemon just to shift it. This looks good, but it's probably way too light when you look at it in context. A little bit more of the green, a little bit more of the blue. Let's just touch that into one or two places here and see what marks we're making. There we are. All right, enough's enough. We've got to finish off this whole painting, and we're going to go back in with a lot of yellow into our green. Going to sort of mess around with the oranges, and the blue is going to make quite a lively color because the sun is catching this side of the hill. So I want to put that in. But I want to break it up. I'm not trying to paint trees. There are many hundreds of them there, hundreds and hundreds. But I'm not going to try and paint trees. I'm just going to paint little dabs, little dots, little shapes here and there that would suggest to the viewer that it's full of trees on the hillside. These are just little bits of the chalk cliffs revealed by the angle that I'm standing. You can just about see them, but because the sun is gone behind them now, they're all appearing that lovely violet color. Let's come back in with some lovely strong yellows up into here. Let's come in, well, yellow greens. Let's start putting in our headland that I'm actually part of. Let's come in there. So let us I have some black here, but only so much as I use it to make some greens. I don't make pure black. I'm going to mix some of the blues and a little bit of that phthalo blue and some of the red to make a darkish violety color. I use my hand as a rest, and I'm going to come in with the first of the sort of lines and the strips of these groins. Just going to pick them up. I'm not going to put the uprights in just yet. Just going to come in and suggest what we've got here. But certainly give it a go. I'll put the line art over on my Patreon for you guys to download and look at. And don't forget, if you're there is a pure oil painters tier on the Patreon channel just for you guys and girls who love painting oils and nothing more. But there's also what I call a best of both tier, whereby if you like watercolor and oil, for a reduced fee you can get involved with both of them. So that'll be cool too. Love to have you on board if you fancy it. But it's always nice to have the support of my patrons, and of course all my patrons thus far, they all help to make sure that I can keep producing artwork and tutorials for everybody, both on YouTube and Patreon, to enjoy. So yeah, take a look anyway. Love to have you there. All right, just finishing off this area, just a few taps here, a few out in the bay here, coming down, lots of them. I'm going to put a few people, very small people, little figures in the water. Just gives a bit of scale to the proceedings. Maybe just a little hint of deep dark red on somebody here. And maybe another figure there. Just paddling. Come back this way and just put one or two more in. Now I did also say we've got to put some highlights into, oh, I've just seen a wonderful little yacht. Now it's got quite a shadowy light to it on this side, so let's just go and try and put that colour in there. Like that. I have a little light on the sail. And a little bit, there we go. Just going to plow around with some of these warmer colors, just some little taps of color in here. Just it's just where the rock is drying out so much more than before. I think it just gives rise to a little bit more definition within them. that we can play with. A little bit more yellow into some of that. All right, well, I'm prepared to say I'm done. I've had a lot of fun with it anyway. And is a painting ever done? I don't know. It's really a personal decision to make. You work at it and you get so far with it and you think, do I want to do any more? Or am I completely satisfied with what I've got? And I think the answer to that is probably a little bit yes, a little bit no. You can always feel that you want to do more, but it is a plein air study. You can take this home with you. You can take some photo reference, some sketches, all these things, take them all the way home. And once this is dry, with all those other photographs, sketches and backups, then you could do a much larger piece, much more considered if you wish to. And you can then add in the extra detail that you feel you may have missed in this one. But to me, this is just a fresh statement based on what is out there in front of me. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to leave that to sort itself out, and I'm going to take a little break and get ready and do another painting somewhere. So with that all said and done, I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget, if you have enjoyed this, like it, subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. It really does help it grow and helps me immensely, I've got to say. And yeah, if you like it, add a comment and share it with your friends. If more people get to see what I'm doing, then it can only be a help to me and a help to them. So by all means, like, share, subscribe. Thanks ever so much, guys. I'm going to catch each and every one of you in the next video. Take care, all the best, stay safe, enjoy your painting. Bye bye.